I turned off the mic
Oh,
just in case because I'm typing.
fair enough. It doesn't actually say if we are live yet. So I don't know if we are live. I'm just going to have to go to the channel and see if we've come up as a live stream. Yes, we are live. If we are live yet. So I don't know if we are live. I'm just going to have to. All right. Pop out of the chat. Heidi's there. Hello, Heidi. Whoop. Change that from top chat to live chat. Hang on, where are we? I'll just get that to there. And then we'll drag that up. And Luca's there too. Hello, Luca. I don't know what Fernando's all quiet. He's typing
Sorry,
away.
sorry. I'm just typing and getting everything ready on my end. How's everybody doing?
Oh, doing good. There's 3 people in
Typing.
already watching, so we have a good one tonight, but we've had all sorts of hassles. Jeremy couldn't make it in. He's having hassles and things he's got to sort out, and we're having a few tech issues here with bits and pieces not working and audio channels not working and stuff like that. So we won't be able to bring people in and phone calls tonight, unfortunately. It's a little glitch, so I'm going to have to get sorted out for next week. But we thought we'd get going a few minutes early so we can start bang on the hour. So Fernando's got some good stuff for us tonight, haven't you?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it is a lot of information, so I'll be reading most of it, and also, due to the topic in hand, I believe it's the reason why we're having so much
Yes.
technical difficulties.
Yeah. Anybody that watches our show knows there's a certain group of individuals, a rather large group of individuals. Every time we talk about them, we have issues, and we will be talking about them tonight. And of course, the issues started before we even got going, so it's going to be an interesting, start. So, have you got the link to share, or do you want me to just share it away?
I'm grabbing the link right now. Now
I'll
that
just
we
push the wrong
have.
button. Hang on. Where are we? Copy instead of paste, otherwise I could have flicked us all out of the right page. So, how is everybody in Perth tonight? Nice and warm? It's been a warm few days for everybody here. So, let's have a look. Usually I've got Jeremy and James who are going to be doing this, but because we're down a few people, having to do it all ourselves. So this is the pre-show stuff. So let's just bear with us for a couple of minutes, and then we'll get going. Where are we?
Right. So far, so good. What in the world?
Oh no, can't do that. I've shared the link to that video I was just showing you before we went live. Everybody would have been watching Doctor Who. You can't do that.
Hey, promotion. Might get paid for it.
I,
Oh my god, that's funny.
I, but it's the correct link. That's what I don't understand. Oh no, here we go. Try that one again. Now I've lost my page. Sorry guys, it's just one of those nights tonight. Now I've completely lost the Facebook thread that I was about to share with everybody.
I'll be sharing it right now on the page. It's already up.
What, on the WAPA page?
Yeah.
Oh, in that case, I won't worry about it. And you got the right link and you didn't share a Doctor Who video?
No, I got the right link.
It's still doing it. I've just copied the correct link for the show and it's showing you the Weeping Angels. I'm going to give up touching anything tech related tonight. So hopefully everybody's still there. Hey, Carl, how are you, mate? I don't know how many more people we got coming in yet. So we've got about 4 people, but it keeps changing. So, hey, Carl's got a picture up now. Well done. So we were originally going to be having everybody in for a call-in type show tonight, but we can't do that. Not even any of my buttons are working. I don't know if you can hear these sound effects. Let me know if you can hear this. I can hear it fine, but you can't hear it, can you?
I can.
No. Oh, wow. So, should we just, hang on, it's 9 o'clock. Should we get going?
Yeah.
We'll just jump into it. There's a few people in, so, and I'm sure Carl's going to have a field day with this one today. So, all right, well, we'll get started now. Hey everybody, we are here now. We're actually live, and for some reason my audio's got a lot louder. I don't know what's changed, so hopefully the levels are coming through. How are you, Fernando?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. Just trying to get through all of these, challenges.
Yeah.
For today.
Can everybody let us know if you can hear us both fine? Because I just want to make sure that everybody can hear us, because we're having a few issues. Once we know you can hear us, we'll start underway. But
I wonder.
Yeah, you just can't trust those people. So hopefully somebody's still there listening in. There is a delay, and I've got it set to the shortest delay that YouTube allow, and it's still a fairly long one.
They can hear us. They can hear us.
Yeah, Heidi can hear us. That's good.
Thank you, Heidi.
Oh,
Hey guys, how's everybody?
I'm good. Like I said, unfortunately, Jeremy can't make it, and we did have. We'll say hello to Jax out there, because I don't know if she'd be listening in, because she's doing a big, massive drive. She's 7 hours in, and she's still got about 5 hours to go, she was saying, to film another episode for the TV show that she is a star in. And she wanted to come on, but unfortunately, while you're stuck in a car, you can't really do a podcast. So she will be with us again in a few weeks' time. So, but yes, tonight we are talking about cults, weird hokey religions, secret societies, how they're all, what ties them together, what separates them, and what dodgy crap they get into. So the reason I started thinking about this is something's already tickling Fernando. But I was thinking back to when I did my apprenticeship, and my boss, who was a really nice guy, he was part of the. I knew there was something a bit different about him, and his whole family and everything. They seemed a bit old fashioned, and I remember him picking us up one day, take us we had to go for a drive to pick up some stuff for a job. I can't remember the details behind it now, but while we're driving, he asked me about my religious beliefs, and I thought, oh, here we go, this is going to be interesting. And I told him I didn't have any and stuff like that, but he actually belongs to this group which he puts across he was born into it, so it's a family thing, and it's called a religion to them, but there's just some very weird things about it, and we now know them as the Brethren. I don't know if you've ever heard of those guys. They come under a few different names. You got the Exclusive Brethren, you got the Plymouth Brethren, you have just the Brethren, and there's a few other names, especially in America, which I haven't heard of before. Which, if you type it in, you'll probably find it. But in this particular one, the men have to have really, really short hair, no facial hair. The women have to keep their hair really long. They're not allowed to have makeup. They're not allowed to listen to any kind of recorded music. They can play music on a guitar and things like that, but they can't listen to music. And what gets weird, certain types of light globes are evil. Now, I can't remember whether it's an incandescent light globe or a fluoro tube. I can't remember, but one of those gave off evil emanations, and I thought, yeah, okay, this is weird. Now, he ended up actually getting into, of all things, country and western music, and I think about halfway through my apprenticeship, this religion came in, and I say religion like that, came in and did a spot check, found that he was listening to music. Within that day, he was never allowed to see his kids. His wife didn't want to know him again because they'd been told not to see him, and he was actually kicked out of the house. Now, the other weird thing about this religion is everybody in it seemed to have a business or something like that, or used to be doing well off, and they had to sign over 51% of the business to the church. So
Jeez.
within a day, he was homeless, jobless, familyless, and it just kept going on and kept going on. Now, I'm not going to go into details about what happened after that, but I really felt for the guy because he was one of the best bosses. Yeah, the Brethren, Carl's just picked it up. One of the best bosses I ever had. He was a really nice guy, and he ended up, when he got out of it, he embraced normal life so much that quite often he'd come in beaten up because I think he enjoyed it a little bit too much, and some people didn't appreciate it. But it was like he had escaped from a cult, and it just made me wonder what kind of a thing it is. Now, I've seen them come up on the news over here quite regularly where they'll talk about the Exclusive Brethren or things like that, and they are a hokey bunch of people, and it just flashed in my head because I was watching a video while I was doing a little bit of research on different cults and different bits and pieces and organisations that the Brethren actually came up in it. So, you know, where does the line between a religion and a cult and then like a secret society, that they've all got very blurry lines?
Oh yeah. I mean, shall we get into, the outer space people?
Just say it, man. Just say it, because we're gonna suffer the consequences anyway.
All right, all right. Let's check everything's working. Okay.
It
Okay.
is now, but
So,
if we freeze, you know why. As
but
soon as
yeah,
he mentions it, the
naturally
name.
said it best as far as apparently there is a very thin line between secret societies and occults, and it all has to do based upon their beliefs.
Yep.
And as far as Jesus, I don't know why it's so hard to actually say the word now. You guys got me all messed up over here. Scientology,
Oh,
right?
you've said it. There you go. It's done. We have said it. You better
Okay,
get as many
everything
words
seems
out
to be
now as you can
working.
before we get
We're good.
attacked.
We're good. We're good. Um, but yeah, as how I was telling Gary earlier, there's just so much information out here, and it is a very thin line between all of these groups, and it's basically what's separating them is their beliefs. I mean, we could go as far back as you know uh, I'm here reading about the Knight Templars, and I'm sure everybody knows about them.
Yeah, I've got the ring.
Have you heard about these guys? Oh, look. Okay, so I won't talk about them. Let's move on. So these guys, and we're gonna, there's a lot of information on the Freemasons, and
You're not believing what they
you
said about the Knights Templar, are you? About them being heretics and
well,
everything.
I mean, I am a huge fan. I don't know if people know this about me. I'm a huge gamer. So one of the games that I actually enjoy playing due to its accuracy in history, except they actually use their form is the franchise of Assassin's Creed,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
there's a pretty good, they're pretty much, you know it's assassins against the Templars.
Yeah,
So
but that
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Assassin's Creed is 100% gamer, right? I love the film.
Yes,
I love I've never
yes.
played the game, but I love the film. And do you know the truth about the Knights Templar? About how
The
they,
truth,
the truth about them, how
I
they, well, they originally, they were, what's the word? I don't know if ordained. Hey, Mark, I don't know if ordained is the right word for it, but they were like the Pope's, not personal guard, but they would look after people that were doing the pilgrimage to the Holy Land. Now, they actually originally set up the first banking system because obviously people that were migrating over to the Holy Land couldn't take all their stuff with them. So what they would do is they would speak to the Knights Templar and they say, this is how much we've got. And they say, well, okay, that's how much it's worth. We will take that off you here and we will take ownership of it. They'd give them a piece of paper. And when they got to the other side, it had a value on it for what they'd been given, and they were given the equivalent sort of value over there. So it's like the original kind of banking system, you know what I mean? Now,
yeah.
while over there are all these stories about how they looking for the Holy Grail and all these different stories, but basically they became, through this banking system that they set up, obviously there was an interest component to it where they kept so much, then the rest was transferred on, which people would agree to. So all of these equated into quite valuable things, and the Templars ended up becoming rich. I mean, really rich. Hey, James. And now what would happen was not only would the church borrow money from them, which is a weird thing, but because the Templars were based in France, King Philip the Beautiful of France always borrowed money for his wars with England and different things like that. And eventually he got in that much debt that he couldn't repay it. Now what happened was there was rumors that he actually had the Pope who had the Knights Templars back murdered, and then a new Pope was put in place who he had sort of control over. And then to get out of the debt, what happened was he, again, this is all allegedly because it was a long, long time ago. He started rumors that they
You're
were,
pretty much on point. You're
yeah,
pretty much on point,
yeah,
guys.
they were doing things like homosexual acts where they would kiss each other and they would, idol false gods and things like that, basically turn them into heretics. And ultimately what happened was he ordered a day when they were all going to be basically assassinated or all captured and stuff, and to face trial. Now, the Knights Templar got word of this and a lot of them disappeared. But those that didn't all got caught and they all faced the trials. The Grand Master and everything, they ended up, I can't remember if it was hanged or burned at the stake, but at dawn on Friday the 13th of October 1307 the order was given, and that's when all of these Knights Templar were taken in. They were all captured and everything, and that's where the infamous Friday the 13th came from. Friday the 13th, 1307, Black Friday. And obviously from there a lot of the Knights Templar turned up in the United Kingdom and up as far as Scotland, and there's rumours about Rosalind Chapel and everything. And you're starting getting into the Da Vinci Code kind of stuff. But then a lot of them ended up going over to Nova Scotia and particularly Oak Island, which is, I think it's Netflix on one of those shows. These brothers have been chasing the Templar treasure for years and years and years. And they were master architects, this, that, and the other, master soldiers. They were the smartest with everything, and they were very clever. And they just disappeared. Now, from there, getting back to what you're talking about with the secret societies, because they were now an outlaw group for all the society through the Europe and the UK and stuff like that, they ended up changing their name and became known as the Freemasons. And that was a secret society, so they could still meet and still do all the sort of things that they wanted to do, help people out and do this and do that, but they did it as a secret society. And that is where, allegedly anyway, the birthplace of the Freemasons come from. So they originally do come from the Knights Templar. And
Interesting.
And it's just interesting that's based on truth of 1307 and all that sort of thing. That is all true. I mean, there's a lot of details that we're never going to know. There's a good TV show called Nightfall, which is it's on one of the streaming things. It could be Netflix. And it's all about the Templars. And obviously they put their own little spin on it. But ultimately, it ends up on that same day, Friday the 13th, and the whole thing happening. And it is at that point, very accurate to history. So, yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, pretty much with the Knight Templars, you're pretty much on point with everything. They were very much known for their banking endeavors.
Yep.
I didn't know about the whole how they're linked to the Freemasons, but one of the things that really caught my attention was that 13 out of the 39 men who signed the U.S. Constitutions were Freemasons.
Yep.
That blew my mind. I mean, we're talking about George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, John Hancock. And, I mean, as far as we all know that as far as secret societies and occults are concerned, we're going to go back to Scientology. There's always, they're very well known to have important or, celebrities or famous people or somebody, high class.
Yeah.
But
it makes you wonder how many of the secret societies actually do have a basis with the Templars and the Masons and everything, because it's all about, well, backhandedly, it's all about power and control, because I mean, you're talking about presidents and things like that with the Bonesmen and things like that, you know what I mean? And some of them have been Jeremy's there, he's going, yep, we said the S word. No, he just made me lose me bloody thing, what I was thinking about. But yeah, there's a lot of control.
I mean, I'm just going down this list, and I'm basically on the history .com, the History Channel website. And we basically started off with the Knight Templars, and then it goes into the Freemasons. And I believe that these group of people might be even a little bit more controversial as far as celebrities are concerned, because we've always heard about some devil worshipping within the music industries, and they're all pretty much involved with the
Just say it, man. Illuminati. Just say it. Go for it.
The Illuminati. Hold on.
Yeah, but see, even the Illuminati, that nobody knows if they're still around. And see, this is one thing that when we talked about secret societies not long ago, Jeremy and I had this conversation, because I turned around and said, all the secret societies that we know about can't be very good because they're not a secret, because we know about them. So, what's going on with the really good secret societies that we don't even know exist?
Ah,
I mean, you look at the
that
Bonesmen,
is.
right? You look at the Skull and Bones. They're a secret society, but we know their address. You just can't go in. We know members of them, but you can't touch them because they're all high powered, like presidents and this, that, and the other, and high people in business and stuff.
Hmm.
There's nothing
Hmm.
secret about it. What may go on
Yeah.
inside the doors may be secret, but a secret society to me is a society that you don't know about. And I'm sure there's a
Well,
lot of them out there that we don't know about at all.
oh man, I mean, I think the Illuminati would be the perfect example to use as far as like how I said earlier. There's a very thin line between secret societies and occults. I mean, I even Googled what's the difference, and basically, it's their beliefs. That's that's the difference. And the Illuminati, as far as
Yeah,
if
Carl,
we are to
definitely.
believe with all of these hidden in plain sight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Carl. If we are to believe that they still exist, or even if and hear all of these rumors concerning musicians, and I mean, it is kind of disturbing, all the stuff that we're seeing now in the music industry, especially
Mm.
everything involving devil worshipping. So it does fall into kind of both categories as far as occults and social, the secret societies. uh but yeah, yeah, this stuff.
Now, just taking a step away from Scientology and all those other things, just for the moment, anyway, because there's a whole lot you can talk about Scientologists because they're a wealth of you just you just have to hate everything that is mentioned about them, and you hear about all their their processes if you want to become a Scientologist, and I don't know why you would want to, but all this other stuff. But yeah, anyway, we'll move back to that later on. But going back to, I mean, you look at things like cult leaders, right? Now I'm talking about cult in the not the occult, but cult leaders like Charles Manson, like Jim Jones, and a lot of these other people. What makes somebody so appealing to others that they want to follow them no matter what they have to say? You know what I mean? These people, I mean, like Jim Jones, if you had a look at him, he's like an Elvis wannabe, a really bad Elvis wannabe. And he is single handedly responsible for one of the biggest mass suicides in history. Now, he started out in the US, right? And it ended up getting that bad that the US government actually wanted him gone. So I think he moved down to Ghana and he set up a place called Jonestown. And that ended in the 70s with, I think it was 900 people mass suiciding on poisoned Kool-Aid. So,
Poison Kool-Aid.
yep,
Jesus.
they all drank it. Even their parents even made their kids drink it. There was only a handful of people that got away. Even that was Jonestown itself in Ghana. Then they had like little satellite buildings here, there, and everywhere, so they had people around. You know what I mean? And even some decided not to do it, but most people mass suicide. Now, what could any person say to rabbit hole with the Rothschilds and stuff? Yeah, and then Manson. Now, while he wasn't responsible for these murders and things like that personally, a lot of his followers. What kind of message was he sending that these people went out and started killing people under his name, even though he denied it up until when he died? Well, he denied being directly involved in it. So,
I mean, you would have to think that there is some sort of, you know, brainwashing involved, or manipulation at a high scale, to make people believe that a way of life,
mm,
to the point to, I mean, what would be the difference between, let's say, these occults creating this mass suicide, and to, let's say, I don't know, kamikaze, these Japanese soldiers that they would, you know, or even the bombers, uh, you know, people that would give themselves for uh for their religion.
Yeah, nah, now the kamikaze bombers and stuff like that's not a religion as such. That's just an ideology that's built into them. Because I used to do kendo and we were taught all the principles of Bushido, which is what the samurai used to follow, and it's the same that's ingrained into into the Japanese warriors. I mean, it's changing now, but this is back then that duty and honor is everything. In fact, when you see a samurai go into battle with all that gear on, what most people didn't realize is that they had pure white clothing on underneath, and that was for because they went into every battle expecting to die, and that was their death clothes, I suppose. And then they'd put the gi on over the top, or the kimono, whatever you want to call it, and then the armor on over that. And to a degree, if you ever look up kendo and look at some of the stuff that we used to do, it's very similar in that you'd have to put the gi on and then put the armor on, and then you'd fight. And it's not a religious thing. It's not even a spiritual thing. It's just ingrained into them, this honor that just keep going until you drop. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say that about them, but yeah, definitely some of these other ones that you're talking about, definitely. So, man, look at all these names going off in the chat now. Marshall, Soko, and it's interesting. There's an actual, I can't remember the name of this show now. Somebody might have seen it. It's on Netflix, and it was only out a couple of years ago. It's just one season, and if Lynn was watching this, she would know what it's called straight away because we both loved it. And what it was, this guy just turned up somewhere, and people starting to think he was the second coming of Christ. And the show was done in such a way that it continually stepped from, yeah, he is the second coming of Christ, to he's just a con man trying to become a new cult leader. And then, yeah, he's the second coming of Christ. No, he's a cult leader. He's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. It was done so well that when you watch that, you could imagine people who are chasing something to believe in could quite easily get suckered into something like that in that show. But what do some of these cult leaders like, well, David Koresh, Marshall, Jim Jones, all these other ones, that Japanese guy that was at Heaven's Gate or whatever it was called, all of these different people, what do they put out there that make people want to follow them and in many respects go to their death believing the crap that they spout?
Yeah, that's a good question because I don't know. Well, I was, I mean, today I do believe there is a higher power. I just don't believe that the religion I grew up in, which is Christianity. Uh, I don't think they got. I hope I don't get in trouble. Sorry, guys.
Oh, look, this is a controversial topic as soon as you bring religion in, so we're going to get in trouble from somewhere, so.
Yeah. So I don't think that God is the the person they portray him to be, or the spirit, or the
Mm.
Lord. I do believe in a higher power. I just don't believe that it's the way they're saying how he is. I don't know if I'm explaining myself correctly. Sorry, guys.
No, not
Sorry.
really. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Now, getting back onto our friends, the Scientologists, when a science fiction writer writes I don't know what you call it. Do you call it an ideology or whatever you want to call it that people started picking up on, and then they started to call it a religion. How can you call it a religion when it's just the writings of a science fiction writer? And if they are happy to call that a religion, then what do you have to say about the Bible? Because who's not to know that the Bible, the Bible was a group of different stories, so some of them might have differing levels of accuracy or complete fairy tale-ness about them, you know what I mean? But what makes that any more real than the writings of L. Ron Hubbard?
I don't know, Gary. I don't know. You kind of sounded like a Scientologist there for a second.
No. I am completely the opposite. You know that. But what I'm saying is, I was watching this show, watching a video on YouTube today, talking about some of the cults, and they turned around and said, we will skip the ones that are an actual registered religion. But then they showed you the picture of the big Scientology building, you know, the main building there and everything. So everyone's still saying they're a cult without saying they're a cult, because they have some sort of, some sort of actual status there. Now, to me, the only reason you register as a new religion is 100% simple. It's a tax break. It's a money-making thing. So, and Scientology is all about that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, basically, you have to pay your way in.
You got to pay your way all the way through.
Yeah, and basically, right? It's like a monthly fee, like a subscription.
Yeah. And there you go. Carl said it in the chat there. Unfortunately, he believes that religion is one of the main instigators of violence around the world. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong, because people are fighting fighting for the word of a storybook. Because I know somebody personally who has been into those secret archives in the Vatican, which we did an episode on so long ago, and it was such a good one, that. But she's actually been down there, and some of the stuff in there, it's just ridiculous. And the real message about religion, now, I'm only just saying this is what it is, because I still don't, you know what I'm like about religion. I don't partake to religion. I have my own beliefs. But what it said was that religion is in the heart. You know, if you want to worship God or Jesus or whatever, you do it here, because that's where it matters. Not in that building over there with the big spire and all the flying buttresses and things like that, and the little altar in the middle, you know, and all the pews and all that sort of thing, because
the cathedrals and all.
Temples, exactly. It's about believing in it in your heart, and that's what matters, because you've all seen those films where they have the little devil on one side and the little angel on the other side. It all comes down to what's happening in the middle. So it's your head and your heart, and that's where people either go really right or they go really wrong. And it's a complete mind muff, basically. And when people start fighting over that, and you know, I mean, as long as there's been religion, there's been wars. I mean, you were talking about the Knights Templar earlier, and we were both talking about the Knights Templar earlier. But one of their biggest battles was with the Muslims and stuff like that. You know, back in the Holy Land. So that's been going around. You know, now again, if you look at, well, this is going to be another religion roast, this one, isn't it? You look at Christianity; it's only 2,000 years old. Well, you add the 32 years because Christ died when he was 32. And then you add the time that we won't say, 2,100 years there, but 2,100 years ago. That's where it was all born, right?
Yeah.
The Muslim culture, that's 4,000 plus years old. But it's still a religion. You go back past that, you go to the Sumerians, the Babylonians, all those really old societies and civilizations. And they had their beliefs back then, so I would put more into what the first civilizations had than people a couple of thousand years ago. And I was watching some of these ones absolutely hilarious when I was watching some of these religions that are still around today. Not religions, cults that are still around today. See what I mean? We're starting to cross lines now. One of them where the leader, he is the reincarnated first god of such and such. He's about 350 million years old, and he keeps getting reincarnated. I said, he's older than bloody Earth. And he keeps coming. He keeps coming. I mean, not, but he's older than man. You know what I mean? And, okay, yeah, I believe that one. You know, Highlander. There can be only one. That has just about as much credibility as some of these, you know, some of these cults and things like that. And I'm a firm believer that. I mean, you go back to this here in Australia. We have a census that happens every few years, right? And every person in Australia has to fill it out on the same day. And you can do it online, or the old-fashioned way was on this 120-page bloody book that they used to send you out. And anybody that was in your house at 7 o'clock or whatever it was on that night had to be included in yours. And it was a flash so that the government could see where anybody was, what was going on, and, you know, a trend sort of thing. And there was a few questions there on religion, and they actually said, don't put down that you're a Jedi or something silly like that. I did. But apparently over 10,000 people did. And when you have more than 10,000 people put the same thing down, it can officially be registered as a religion.
Wow.
That's how silly it is.
Wow.
That's how absolutely silly it is. So I'm a practicing Jedi Knight.
This might be
Jeremy's a
Jeremy's a
Pastafarian.
Topic, but what I don't recall the last time I filled out a census here.
Yeah, we'll be
When
about
was the
due,
last
I would think.
time? I mean, you figured, with technology, they don't need a census. I mean, we're being heard, watched, right now. So, but yeah, sorry, I just started thinking because I
Well, I'd
remember
like to
doing
think we're being watched. We have 9 people watching us that we know of. So,
when
yeah, it just makes you wonder who those 9 people are. I know we've got some of them in the chat, and we have a Pastafarian, we have a Carl, we have a, where's he gone? We've got James, and we've got Heidi, and Luca. We can't forget Luca. Luca's with Heidi, so although he might not be here now because he might have got bored after hearing about the Pastafarian. So, worshipping the big pasta monster. Yeah, the flying spaghetti monster. Yeah, that's all. But yeah, oh no, it's responsible for so much. Like Carl was saying, there's so much war that happens, and then you look at the and what's scary is what's going on in the world even at the moment. Now, you look at when they talk about religion and stuff, about what happened to the Jews in the Second World War. That was an extermination, and now it was on the news tonight about these these protests, and they're arguing over the wording of some of these chants and things like that they were saying out near the Sydney Opera House when it was talking about the Jews and stuff. Some, they were saying gas the Jews, and they were trying to say, no, it's watch the Jews. But you hear it, and it's not. So as a society, we haven't really learned a lot over 2,000, 4,000 years. You know what I mean? And it's scary.
No, and unfortunately, it feels like things are just getting worse today when we should have all been learning from the past.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. But these cults, there's actually another TV show. We're talking about a lot of TV shows tonight, called Cult. And this TV show is about a TV show about a cult. But there's a real life cult following the TV show about the cult on this show, The Cult. It's actually not that bad. It's actually pretty. Did you ever watch that show, Prison Break?
Oh yeah.
You know Bagwell, Teabag, Theodore Bagwell.
Yeah, okay.
He plays the leader of the cult, and in the TV show. Not the TV show Cult, but the TV show in the TV show called Cult about the TV show called Cult. he played.
I actually very much like that character. Him as an actor, very good, very.
Well, you should look this. I've actually got it on one of my hard drives, but you should look it up. It's just called Cult, and it's really good because it's about this guy. I think he's an investigative reporter, and his son disappears, and he's just trying to find him. So he's come back to town to try and find his son, and then you find out that his son started watching this show, The Cult, and he started following the signs and things that you had to do to become a member of this cult, and he ended up following it. So it's actually a pretty good show, and it shows you how people, again, can get messed up in it. So,
Man, I think I just messed up my Google. I've been searching up
the TV
the
show Cult
occult,
about the cult.
the secret society.
You're going to get
And
a
as
knock
soon
on the
as I
door,
write
man.
the
You're going to
cult-
get a knock on the door by the NSA or somebody, eh? The Men in Black are going to
Hold on,
turn
hold
up.
on. My dog is barking.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, yeah. It is moving on.
I'm still trying to remember the name of that TV show that about the Jesus person. I can't remember what it's called. It's on Netflix anyway, so it's definitely worth watching. I'll have to send it to you in afterwards. So, but yeah, all right. Come on, you've got to have something else.
Oh, interesting. I came across what website is this? Anyway, the most powerful secret societies.
Yeah.
And we have the first one. Let's go with the first one. Ancient Order of, I know I'm going to be mispronouncing this, Hibernians.
Yeah, the Hibernians. Yeah, yeah.
Founded in 1836. Their mission is protecting Catholic churches from anti-Catholic forces. So we're going back, how religion could, basically cause violence.
It does. Just ask Carl. Carl knows.
And the well-known members are, we got JFK, Fulton Sheen, Pat O'Brien, Breen. Yeah. Let's see. We are the Bilderberg Group. Founded in
Oh,
19
there's a big name for you. There's one of the rich families there. They're in with the Rockefellers and all,
Bill Gates part of
the
this
Rothschilds.
one. Bill,
Hey,
Bill Gates and Prince Charles are part of this one. So yeah. Bill Clinton. Wow. How do you go?
I
from
did not
the-
have
basically
sexual
the
relations
richest
with
man-
that woman. Credibility gone right there.
Oh my god. But yeah, we got Bill Gates, basically the richest man in the world, and we got,
He's
Prince
not. He's not.
Charles,
No,
and-
not anymore. It's that. What's his doodle? Tesla man. He's the richest.
Elon?
Yeah, Elon Musk is the richest man in the world now. Poor Bill Gates
Really?
Poor Bill Gates got knocked into second or third or fourth spot now. So.
Damn. But yeah. The Bilderberg Group is basically, their mission is create an aristocracy. Yeah. Sorry, it's like, what time is it over here? I've been awake since like 6.
Well, I've been awake since 5 o'clock this morning, and it's like nearly 10 o'clock at night now. There you go. I beat you.
Well, I just woke up.
You should be fresh. You should be fresh, man. You should be fresh. You should be sparkling.
Yeah. We got the Bohemian Club. We got the Bohemian Club.
Carl's just gone blue dress, and he spelt blue very dubiously.
Yeah, they're pretty much, full of presidents, musicians, and oil barons. So pretty much, rich people there.
Yeah.
Also. So, like how I said in the very beginning, a lot of these groups, they're pretty much full of, people with.
Well, that's exactly what I mean. You look at all the things that you've just been talking about, right, over the last 45, 50 minutes, whatever it was, and it's about rich people, this, that, and the other. And we're talking. And remember how I mentioned about only a good secret society is one that you've never heard of, because they know how to keep a secret. Well, Everybody's heard the term the New World Order. Nobody can prove that there is one or who's involved in it. Everybody has their, their thoughts on that. Whether it be, Bilderbergs, the Rothschilds, all of those rich families who are richer than most banks and most countries in the world. I'm pretty sure they run everything. And then when you going down our sort of road and you start looking at things like the X-Files about how they've got a secret cabal that are sort of running everything, even running the secrets about aliens on Earth and things like that. What haven't they got their bloody hands in? And I'm saying that in a metaphoric thing. I'm not saying it as in a literal thing. But, it's anal probe time. Oh, I did that one. Sorry. But yeah, I just did my Paul impersonation. I shouldn't have done that on the camera. Whoopsie. But yeah, what are they? What the hell was that? Something just messed up all my night vision stuff on my cameras. But yeah,
well, we are talking about sensitive groups.
Now, again, this next little thing I'm going to say, it's figuratively, it's not literal. What haven't they got their fingers in?
Wow.
You know
I
what
mean,
I'm sure they control religion. I'm sure they control religion to a point. I'm sure they control obviously they control all the press around the world, and everybody knows how much the press can actually influence world events and things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we've spoken about so many groups already: Freemasons, Illuminati, Scientologists.
You just laugh every time you say we haven't been affected that I know of yet. I mean, we could be completely off air now and just not know about it. We are losing people, so I don't know if they're knocking on doors saying don't watch these guys because they're talking about Scientology. There you go.
No, I just find it funny. We went down from Illuminati, Freemasons, all of these, and then Scientologists.
Yeah.
But anyway, we did mention Skull and Bones today, and in this website number 18, you did mention how you don't really know what these people got their hands in. So, their mission, the Skull and Bones mission, is said to play a role in the plot to dominate worlds.
Worlds, plural.
No, world.
Oh,
but the way they wrote it out was kind of like poorly. So, said to play role in plot to dominate world.
You want to see what's read poorly, right? This is completely going off topic, but you know how I had that thing that was supposed to arrive today? And it didn't.
Yeah,
I got a text from the obviously not English speaking people telling me all kinds of weird crap. I'm not going to read it out, but bloody hell, their grasp on the English language is ridiculous. It's terrible. So, yeah, the Great Reset. I'm sure that's coming. And that's. If you actually talk about and you do a little bit of research on the New World Order, they do talk about a new reset, a new world, and that's why the whole New World Order comes from. They're going to reshape it and remold it and build it. And a lot of people reckon there is a world confrontation coming. And with everything going on in the Ukraine, everything going on in China, everything going on in Korea, and now not now, but everything going on in the Middle East, most of the world is already fighting, you know what I mean? And after, you remember a certain interview we had with some people who were agents and abductees, and about how he said Australia is getting the Virginia-class submarines in that deal where we said no to France, and that caused a whole load of kerfuffle because we signed up with you guys in America. And his little if you haven't watched it, you got to go back and watch last week's show. It's absolutely a ripper episode. He called us the new part to the American Navy. Australia's just another arm of the American military, and that's And that's what it is. And ultimately, the American military, who's running that? You know, public perception
We're
is
gonna
that
flunk to
the president
politics
is
right
running
here,
it. But
guys.
you know, when the president, and this is one of the things when they were talking about alien disclosure and stuff like that, and about obviously you've got the military people that know all the secrets and they're not letting the president know. And they said, but he's the commander in chief and he should know everything. But as they said, that position is only a temporary job. You know, you're going to get 8 years max out of that job and then you're out. So if we're telling everybody who does 8 years in that job, then there's a lot of people knowing these secrets. So they're just keeping it to themselves. What else is being kept from people in perceived power?
That's a very good thought. And if you do, and if you become popular, you know, afterwards, you could, you know, write your own book and make a sales, you know, if you want some kind of income, you know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say, you know, like the Obamas.
All right, forget the Obamas, right? Who was the last really popular American president?
Really popular besides the Obamas? Are you talking about Trump?
Oh shit, no.
Okay.
Hang on.
Popular.
You,
Are we talking about the Clintons?
I'm talking about JFK.
JFK. Oh, I mean, honestly,
I mean, it was before your time. It was before my. He died in the 22nd of November, 1963. Dealey Plaza. You know, a little place called Dallas.
I mean,
that's what happens
I
when
guess,
you get. That's what happens when you get really popular, right? The other people who have the real power don't like the perceived threat of somebody else having all the power, and that's when these things sort of happen. I mean, there's so many conspiracy theories, not only about the actual act, but the reasoning why it happened, you know, and who ordered it and all that sort of stuff. And I'm sure there's some sort of secret cabal involved in that. But Trump he's I mean, I don't know what your political things are, but let's face it, when you talk about politics or religion, you're always going to have a Barney somewhere, and we've pretty much covered most of that tonight anyway. Trump, he's a muppet. I mean, to turn around and tell everybody to drink bleach to try and get rid of COVID, what a ridiculous thing to do. And I'm sorry, but I'm one of these people that's a firm believer that he instigated a lot of those riots and the insurrection and whatever, you know, the on the Capitol building and everything. He was guiding them on, and that's not a very presidential thing to do. You're supposed to keep your country and your constituents at peace, not have them fighting each other just to project you somewhere. And it sort of, I don't know. I have a funny feeling that you guys are going to get him back again next time.
Honestly, with how things are going.
Yep.
With things are going, you know, as long as we don't got this guy around, anymore. Like this guy, it's this. We are basically, I mean, the last time I voted, and this is, you know, just putting it out there, the last time I voted, because I don't believe in the, you know, all of this stuff anymore, was for Bill Clinton, to say the least.
Well, you see, right, okay, right. Now, again, we're going off topic here. But again, you know, they're talking about secret societies and things, so that's how we're trying to squeeze it in. Back when Bill Clinton was in office, we had John Howard, right? Now, this is the difference. Bill Clinton, he was the president of the United States. Our Prime Minister, John Howard, we used to call him Little Johnny. You know, he was just... If he got into a sex scandal where he had to deny having sexual relations with a woman or with anything, we would have been impressed. You know, he just...
Wait, did you just say with anything? Like, what the fuck?
I'm just putting it out there, you know. I'm not saying he was like that at all. He was a good... I'm not generally a liberal supporter, but he was a good prime minister, right? John Howard was a good prime minister, but
okay.
He was like He was like the annoying little brother, little Johnny. You know, he's just, well done, Johnny. You made it to the top job, and he surrounded himself with arguably the right sort of people because he didn't do a bad job. But then when Paul Keating sort of took over, I didn't like him. But again, he doesn't fit to me that kind of. When you look at the American presidents, you know they've all gone through. Well, you'd think they've all gone through these different universities, and you would assume that they're all affiliated with some sort of secret society somewhere. Not prime ministers over here. They're just lucky enough to get the job.
You would think. I mean, you would think like we're talking about the leader of the free world. I mean, me personally, I don't think they should be affiliated with anything that has to do with beliefs.
They
As far as
shouldn't.
occults are
But
concerned,
again,
you know.
is he the leader of the free world?
I mean,
Is there a free world? Is there a free
no.
world? No.
No, no. But it is a little concerning when you go down this list. I mean, this list has like 24 different secret societies, and most of them consist of presidents.
Yeah.
So like it's crazy. It's no, I don't know. I don't know. I think I pretty much whoever runs, we're gonna have to do like really intensive research and make sure that nobody is part of any Scientology, because then that would go crazy.
Oh, can you imagine having Tom Cruise run for president and jumping all over the chairs on the Oval Office and stuff?
Holy crap! But yeah.
Uh,
Um,
See, we're still going to do that. At some point, I'm going to walk into the Scientology not building, but the offices here in Perth, and I go, I want to be a member. And they're just going to go, nah. Are you right there,
can
mate?
you do that one more time?
No.
Can you do it one more time?
No, you just have to play it back. No.
I want to be a member. Oh my God. I mean, I'm sorry, but would you not play, but would you conduct the 13th floor elevator
The
in a
elevator
Scientology
game.
building?
Yeah, I'll do that. But we haven't got 13 floors here. So, see, this is the thing, right? In America, everything happens big in America because it's America and everything's just big. They've got a big building. Over here, they've got like a door between two shops, and you just walk up the steps, and there's like a little office and maybe a room at the back. That I know of. I mean, that they could have some secret places somewhere. And
That sounds so great.
but yeah, I don't know. Really? No. I don't want to go in there and go through that whole that thing you got to go through at the start where you got to hold the little electrodes and all that crap.
I
Because
mean,
if somebody tried to stop me leaving a room, I'd knock them on their head.
I mean, me personally, I live in New York, so just walking aside, we have plenty of buildings over 13 floors. And if you go to Manhattan, I reside in Queens, so if you go to Manhattan, we have skyscrapers left and right.
Yeah.
And it's the way I see it, the amount of people residing within New York, mainly due to the space that we have built going up.
Mm.
It's not expanding. It's just going up
Up,
to
yeah.
fill in more, so we are, I mean, me personally, we are severely overcrowded over here. And it's because we're not expanding land, we're just creating taller buildings.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, you look at Australia in comparison to New. I mean, it's not all of America, obviously, but because you've got your Arizona, you got your Death Valley and all that sort of stuff, but about 96% of Australia is pretty much uninhabited. If you actually have a look at a map of Australia, we're all around the edges where we're near the beach. There's a few little spots and places like Alice Springs in the middle of nowhere, and Broken Hill where Lynn comes from, which is again it's in the middle of nowhere. They actually shot Mad Max. They shot Mad Max 2 out near where Lynn used to grow up. There's a place there called I think it's the Mundy Plains, and we drove to that, which is just outside of Silverton. And you park on there, and it's one of the biggest dry inland seabeds on the planet. And this particular lookout where you stand, in any direction, you just look all the way across, and you can actually see the curvature of the Earth. It's that barren, and there's nothing there. And it's like looking at Mars, because when we were looking at it, I know you might have a laugh at this, but we were seeing willy willies everywhere. Now, a willy willy is like a dust devil. It's like a mini tornado kind of thing going across the desert. And you can see these things. Some of them are small. Some of them might be a couple 100 meters high, you know, and they're just doing their thing. And it's like another world out there.
Jeez.
And you head out into these places, and you just, it'd be a perfect spot to have your little commune, you know, your little hippie place or whatever you want to do. If you do want a secret society, there's lots of space here where you can set stuff up. I shouldn't be saying that because we don't want you to come here if that's the case. But no, there's...
No, for sure. I mean, I'm already one that I've been saying this for well over a decade. I'm so done. I mean, if it wasn't because, you know, of certain, you know, life situations that has kept me here in New York, but I'm done with New York. Like I just really need to get out of this, you know, overcrowded place. I've said it for, you know, I would love to just live out in a place and, you know,
that's very beachy. There's I know a place where you've been recently, which would probably be a good place for you to set up, because we could get you out to some of those UFO crash locations which are close by as well.
Oh yeah. Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
But yeah. As far as the occult are concerned, who or what group that is, you know, could you think of that is the oldest?
See, that's a hard one. That's a really hard one to answer. I mean, there's okay. Here's another one for you. Again, another TV show, and it's on Netflix, and it's called. Oh God, what is it called? I just had a complete brain fart as to what it's called. Not Time. That's a different one. That's the prison one. It's to do with clocks and things like that. Anyway, and it's got the what's the nerdy dude that was in not Grey's Anatomy, that other one, the big doctor one. I can't remember his name, but
Wait, a doctor show? Are you talking about Hugh Larry?
No, not him. No. He's Anthony somebody. Anyway, in this one, he gets involved again in a conspiracy which involves different groups. Now, this one ties into the Rosicrucians, and it's actually a really good show. There's like 12 episodes. Oh man, I'm gonna have to look it up again. What I might do is I might put all of these up in the comments to this podcast, the names of these shows, so that people can look them up and watch them, because there's some really good and some really thought-provoking shows. Now, there's this one show I'm trying to tell you about, Timepiece, or it's to do with clocks anyway. 13th hour, something like that. That's what it's called. Something 13th hour, or something like that, or the 12th hour. And it's about I think it's the Rosicrucians, and they've left clues inside these clocks. This is one specific builder has left clues in each of his clocks, and you have to put these. It's a bit like that one with Nicolas Cage in it. You know, the one where National Treasure and things like that, where he finds clues to take you on to the next thing and the next thing. Well, this is all about finding some sort of ancient artifact or ancient relic that has a potential to, well, the people involved believe it has a potential to change the world. And it's actually a really good thing. And this one actually pits a couple of religions and a couple of secret society kind of things all against each other. It's everything that we're talking about tonight. And it's a really good show. And It's about his wife gets kidnapped. His wife gets kidnapped, and he eventually, well, not eventually, he tries to find her. So he starts following these clues to find out what they're all about, and it leads into all of these dark places. And parts of it split in time between like the Second World War and now. And I'm not going to give anything away because it's definitely worth watching. And like I said, I'll put them all in the comments to this video. So if people come back and watch this video at some point, you'll see all the names of these things in the comments. And hang on, what we got? Carl's now talking about flat earthers.
The Earth, I'm told, is flat.
Yes, we've all been told certain stories.
Oh man,
I'm glad you're back, Carl. We've missed you. We've missed you a lot. And once I get the technical issues sorted out, we'll have you back on so you can. I don't know why, but I keep talking to the chat, which is over here. So I'm talking to him because I can read what he's saying, and there's the camera right there. But yeah, we'll have you back on for another chat once I can get this all sorted out. So I think we're just about out of time. We're going to have to go in a minute. But have you got any last minute secret societies or hokey religions or cults?
After everything I have, looked up, I asked the question, what is the oldest you think is the oldest occult or secret society out there?
Yeah.
So I think we're looking at the Knights Templar. It was founded around
1200 and something, wasn't it?
1118.
1118. It was around then, and then, like I said, it was disbanded in 1307.
1307.
Well, Friday the 13th of October, 1307.
1307.
I'm sorry I can't be more specific and give you an actual time the first door was knocked on or broken down, but it's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, because I am looking into, since you mentioned that there is a, after the Knight Templars, it got into the Freemasons.
Yeah.
And when you said 1307?
Yep.
Okay, so apparently the earliest reference to the Masons is in a manuscript called the Regius Poem, which was published in 1390.
Mm-hmm.
And the Freemasons was founded 1717.
That you know of. Remember, they were a secret society to start off with. And again, the Illuminati, they were a German secret society, and I think it was the 1800s when they were disbanded. They were only around for a couple of hundred years. But the funny thing is, when I was looking at some of these cults and stuff on the internet today, a lot of them are like, the people of the light, the such and such of the light. They're all playing on the same name because the Illuminati, it's, the people of light, the illuminated ones. It's the same thing. So how many, and is it an offshoot? Who knows? You don't know, because I know the Illuminati was supposedly shut down then, but were they shut down then, or are they actually going in secret somewhere else and they're doing such a good job of it that nobody knows?
I mean, like, if you go and follow, and read into all of the, rumors or conspiracies about it, I actually thought, do you know on the American dollar bills, there's like this pyramid,
the pyramid and the all-seeing eye, and there's the little owl. There's a little owl there somewhere.
So I thought that was
all Masonic symbols.
Illuminati, but apparently it's Freemason.
Yeah, and I do believe that they are tied together somewhere as well, because the pyramid, the all-seeing eye, or the Eye of Providence, there's different names for it. It ties into so many different. I mean, okay, you talk about the eye of providence, the all-seeing eye. That ties into the eye of Horus, which ties into the eye of Ra. I mean, the two eyes, one's the eye of Horus, and one, if it's one way, it's the eye of Horus, and if it's the other way, it's the eye of Ra. And the difference between what the gods represent and things like that. It's, again, there's a religion, one of the religions from India, they have a thing which looks pretty much identical to the swastika, but it's a mirror image. It's the mirror image of it. So as soon as you invert something, it's wrong. It's like the pentagram. It's a symbol of pagan religion, and it's a religious thing for them. It's not an evil thing, but you turn that pentagram upside down, and you have the like the horns, and it becomes a demonic symbol. You've got the crucifix or the cross. It's all right when it's the right way around, but you invert that cross, and that's a sign of the devil. It's not the symbol itself, it's how that symbol is represented, if it's inverted or not, or whatever. And that's the thing about Christianity. If you can bring a symbol and you just flip it upside down, then suddenly it's the exact opposite of everything that represents, then it's not really thought out that good, is it?
Yeah, it's you would think that it would be something pure, but it's almost like a person that likes to buy that one tie that you could flip it both ways.
They're good ties then, because you can use them twice.
So it's like,
or showing my age, the ties with the piano keys on them. the skinny tie.
I kind of want to touch on something that you mentioned earlier with the, when I was talking about the dollar bill and the all-seeing eye and all of this. I recall seeing a video of how somebody would, fold the dollar bill a certain way.
Yes.
And then it actually, foresees certain things that has happened. For example,
the Twin Towers.
Yes, the Twin Towers one. So it's interesting. Like all of that stuff is just.
But that's
coincidence?
That's one of the other things. It's like I want to do a whole episode on it, but I love Nostradamus and fortune tellers, or prophets, whatever you want to call them. I love all the stuff to do with his quatrains and how he would have been done as a heretic if he just blurted them out. So he put them all in these codes and these little poems, which they call quatrains, and it's about how they decipher things. It's easy to decipher something after the event and make the facts fit the event, but reading it before the event happens, it's hard to work out what it's actually prophesizing. I mean, he supposedly prophesied Hitler, he prophesied Saddam Hussein, the falling of the Twin Towers, the this, the that, all these different, I mean, even a Third World War followed by a golden age of peace. He prophesied his own death, and he prophesied that the French soldier would dig up his bones and I can't remember what it was, do something with his skull, whether it be drink from it or try to look through it, because the whole thing was if you dig up Nostradamus' bones and you look through the skull and you look through his eyes, you'll see the future as well. But from memory, the French soldiers tried to do that and he was killed. Then he got shot by a stray bullet from somewhere.
Jeez. Yeah.
I don't know how true that is, but that's the rumors, and it's definitely worth looking into if you're still here and still watching and you're still interested. But yeah, in fact, I think we might do it. I think we might do an episode on prophecies and prophets. Or
I will definitely look into doing that research. Look forward into doing that research.
Yeah,
because that is insane.
Oh, cool. Anyway, on that, I think it's time for us to go. I think it's a good time. Good time. So thank you to everybody who is still here, who bared with us right through it all, and hopefully you got through the whole thing, because I don't know how much got frozen from the Scientologists' hacking team that are following us.
I mean, we name dropped some pretty explicit, groups. You know, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. Jay-Z and Beyonce might be
Oh, great.
listening in.
Last thing I need is a load of women going, scaring me down the street, Nah, that's just not on. So, on that, you've made me do
Oh
some
my
stupid
god.
stuff, so it's time to go. We're going to go.
All right, we're done. We're leaving. We're
Take it
leaving.
all out. Oh, actually, before you all go, we have a good episode coming out on Tuesday night, all on the how should we say, the haunted Hill House Manor in Texas. And we did a bit of research on that afterwards, and this house actually sits on one of the, I think it's crossing the ley lines and everything, and there's a lot of stuff. It's reportedly the most haunted house in all of Texas, and we're speaking to the owner on Tuesday. So definitely tune in for that one, guys. It is a good one. We can both tell you that because Fernando got the goosebumps at one point, didn't you? On one of the stories.
Yeah. Hopefully, in the very near future, I would be visiting this location. I think possibly, I believe that you guys said that you guys might fly in for this also, so we could all, do
Yeah, but that's not happening
huge
this year.
collaboration.
That one's not happening this year, but we do have a plan. And Linda said she'd more than be happy to have us all come in there. In fact, we can do all the haunted houses because Jay's already given us an invite to the Demon House in Connecticut as well, and he's actually already told us he will give us access to parts of that building that nobody else outside the family's had access to. So that will be good to set some gear up in there and put that out there as well. So we have some good stuff. In fact, we have a few good shows coming up over the next few weeks, some really good shows. So definitely stay tuned. And if you've got friends that are interested, get them to like and subscribe our channel. And let's see if we can't grow this and get more people in. And then the more people are interested, they can tell us what they want to see and we can keep going with it. So until then, I think it's time to go. Take it easy, guys.
Have a good night, good morning, good afternoon. We're all over the place. We're all over the place.
Here we are. Take it easy.